Happy Friday. Happy Friday to all my viewers. I figured I'd go on early today so I could have the evening to myself. I know I've been promising this video. I've been getting a lot of requests for this video, so I thought I'd tap in early Friday. So as you can see, the thumbnail talks about unspoken rules for different segments in prison, different gangs. And every faction in prison basically has their own set rules. And I'll be watching other YouTube channels, and most of them are pretty accurate when they say Northerners, Southerners, and whites have more rules and regulations and more repercussions when they mess up. That's fairly a fair statement to say. Back in the old days, when I first went to prison, I think it was more of an equal playing field. I think nowadays, though, I think being that I was a Crip when I was in prison and on the street, I think we was more. It's like it's pretty much where if you're from Northern California and you're from a Crip or a Blood gang in Northern California, and you go in the California Department of Corrections, you off the top, people from down south Crips, down south Bloods, they kind of, I don't know about right now, but when I first started going to prison, they think we wasn't authentic. They think their Cripping or their Blood was more authentic than ours because it started down there in LA, San Diego, LA area. But I want to talk about prison politics and repercussions for messing up. So in my eyes, the way I feel and what I've seen in prison is I think the Northerners, the Northern Mexican, the NF structure, the Bros, the Carnals, I think they all pretty much have it the worst. And what I mean by the worst is their rules are the harshest. And what I mean by that is, first of all, one in prison should stay in a clear state of mind. Northerners take that to the extreme. They can't drink, they can't smoke weed, they can't do anything. And there's repercussions. Of course, a lot of them go behind others' backs and they do it anyway. But when they're found out, they're automatically removed. And they got so many rules they gotta abide by that. That's how all these PC yards, these sensitive need yards, that's how they grew so rapidly, because hundreds and hundreds of Northerners and Southerners fell off. And what I mean by fall off, they went PC. And it's because they didn't want to oblige by all the rules and regulations. BGF, AB, MA, they got the same sort of rules. BGF in California prison right now, when I left, it wasn't obsolete, but they was outnumbered 10-1 by the Crips and the Bloods. So when you're outnumbered by that much, your presence ain't as severe as it was back in the 70s and 80s. But in my opinion, I think the whites from all over California, I think their rules are enforced pretty much the harshest besides the Northern Mexicans. And why I mean that is because when they come to DP a white, 95% of the time they're going to stab them, and they're going to not stop stabbing them. Northerners, when you get DP'd or removed off the yard by a Northerner, you're going to get sliced in the face. They call it a puto mark. They slice you in the face. That way, everyone knows you was removed. Wherever you go, they see that slice mark. that scar on your face, and they know that's they call it a puto mark, and that means you got in trouble somewhere, and your gang actually removed you. So that's their signature removal, is a slice mark. Whites, they're coming to stab you. If you mess up and it causes for removal, they're coming to stab you, and they're not going to stop stabbing you until the police get the person off of them. Blacks, when blacks are DP'd and break rules, the majority of the time it's 2 or 3 on 1, and it's a fist fight. And I've seen this on every yard I've been on, from level 4 180s to level 3 270 designs. I seen when I was at Lancaster, I seen the 60s, the rolling 60s, end up stabbing one of their own to remove him because he just kept. They gave him chance after chance after chance. He was a loudmouth and he kept burning people, and it kept coming back to their car. So they ended up stabbing him in the day room, and they got him pretty good. He was a youngster, but I'm trying to think back how many stabbing removals I've seen on the blacks, and I've only seen a few. But Southern and Northern Mexicans, they're coming with the business, and I think they have the harshest rules as far as disciplinary. Um, some of the rules, I don't want to get into all of the HHPs for the Northerners, but I know them all. So some of the HHPs, which is household policies, is you have to be up, I believe, at 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning, suited and booted, teeth brush, boots on, and you can't lay down in your bed